Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad you could join us this morning for the SGS annual business meeting. We've not had one of these for a minute, so kind of excited to get back on track and get our business organized, even though it is in a different way. I am going to be sharing a presentation this morning that's built based off the most recent reports that were presented to the board of directors just a couple weeks ago at their annual board meeting. And I will go ahead and turn it over to Ishan, Dr. Williams, our illustrious, amazing, wonderful, kind, compassionate, intelligent, incredible, I can't even, president. Dr. Williams, take it away.
It's amazing how you can have so many superlatives so early in the morning. I mean, I know to some of you all, this is not early, but for me, it always is. So I appreciate the energy that is coming from those of you who joined us this morning. So I think it's important to have everybody who's engaged as members to hear what's going on in the society. And we do try to make these things available to you on our website and through social media, and of course through our newsletter. And so we hope that what we've been able to do over the last, it will feel like 2 years because we haven't been in person, but we really are going to be reporting on the things that we have done over the last year. So Leanne is going to help me with forwarding slides, and I will lean on her heavily to help me if I forget anything. But this slide is just basically showing everyone a bit of conference reminders. And we want to say we're already, we're not having our silent auction as we typically do. So please make sure to go to our fundraising page and donate. Our goal is $2,000. So we are a ways away from that, but we would love for you to go. You have another day. We have 2 days, today and tomorrow, for you to contribute to that. And just it has always been a huge support to our students, and we're able to do so many wonderful things with that group. And SGS has always been a great supporter of our students. So please feel free to go and donate if you can. Also, I think this is a really great thing to highlight is that we have 256 registered attendees already. I think that is something to celebrate. I don't see a lot of cameras, but I'm going to do the claps and in my screen. Thanks, Leanne. But really, if everyone thinks about giving $10, we would surpass our goal. So that thank you to those who have already given. But for those of you who have not and would like to contribute, just please be thoughtful about that. And we are thankful for your contribution. Also, we are continue to have some fun activities. One thing that's still ongoing is this opportunity to have a mocktail or cocktail, like to win a prize. We would love your suggestions and recipes. I don't think we have that many, so you might be in the running if you go out there and do it now. But we really thought that, over the last, since 2011, I guess it was, well, we've had different things that have just changed our conference and has made it memorable for many ways other than the wonderful content that we always have. And so if you can look at those dates that we've highlighted and have links to, you can also find this on the conference site as well as our website. I believe we have this flyer. So please go and contribute a recipe, and you do not have to do a picture of your drink, but we would, if you can, we'd love to see it. For those of us who are challenged in that area. But anyway,
to add on to that, we had a deadline of 4/18 on this, or by the conference, but we have decided to extend that given the fact that we were all just trying to get to this moment. And so we have increased the deadline to June 1st, and Jen and I sort of made an executive decision that we're going to do some live videos actually making said recipes and trying them out. So that should be fun.
Okay, so I guess that's going to be up on our website and social media sites or something.
Maybe more of a private YouTube channel.
Okay, all right. Well, look for more information about that. That is something that I think will be exciting and fun.
So, Ishan, we were going to announce the winners of those 4 drinks tomorrow during the awards program. So we'll just continue to promote the submissions tomorrow instead.
Okay.
Thanks for the update.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Leanne, next slide, I think. Did I get everything? Yeah.
Is it moving?
It's not on my end.
Got it.
Okay,
I
there we
got
go.
it. Great. Sorry, I'm new to presenting here.
That's okay. Well, this is just an agenda, and for those of you who are new to SGS, we typically start with reports from our many committees that we have, and then we just have a couple of things at the end for new business that we'll go over, and hopefully we've allotted enough time for open discussion, because we really would like to hear from folks about how they're doing through the conference, like, and how you see things moving in the future. So, and then we'll adjourn and have plenty of time for you to make it to your next session. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to start with my report. All right, yay. I get the fun stuff. I get to tell you all that we had a search committee that was comprised of several of our former past presidents, and as well as other search committee members who have been on the search committee for Leanne, to hire our new executive director. As many of you know, our fabulous Leanne will be going on to new adventures starting July 1. So we successfully welcomed Amanda James, and I just wanted to read a little bit about Amanda. Many of you have heard about her because she's been interacting with us, with a lot of members during the conference. So she has been a huge help. Thank you, Amanda, for how wonderful you have been contributing already in your executor in training role. And we can only imagine what wonderful things you'll be doing in the future with SGS. So I'll just give a little background on Amanda. Amanda James joins SGS from the Georgia Gerontology Society, where she served as the executive director for 5 years. In this role, she partnered with SGS on many projects, including the 2018 conference. Prior to joining GGS, Amanda was a forensic specialist at the Division of Aging Services, Georgia State's Unit on Aging, helping to address abuse, neglect, and exploitation of older adults and adults with disabilities. She also worked with the Georgia Cares Program, Georgia State's Health Insurance Assistant Program, and Senior Medicare Patrol. At the Division of Aging Services, and regionally at the Coastal Georgia Area Agency on Aging. Ooh, I need my coffee. And the Athens Community Council on Aging. Amanda received her Master of Public Administration in Nonprofit Administration from Georgia Southern University, her Bachelor of Science in Child and Family Development from the University of Georgia, and her Certificate in Gerontology from Kennesaw University. Amanda is passionate about improving the lives of older adults through research, education, practice, and advocacy. She lives with her husband, Vince, her daughter, Lily, who's 3, and her son, Daniel, who's 10 months, in Conyers, Georgia. Welcome again, Amanda. We are so thrilled to have you. Do you want to say anything?
Just want to thank everyone for the really warm welcome. The conference has provided a really great way to meet a lot of you quickly through presenter questions or attendee questions or moderating or different things. So I'm grateful that it happened quickly so that I could meet so many of you, and I look forward to meeting people in person. And I will not attempt to fill Leanne's shoes because those are unique to her, but I will do my best to help SGS move forward in any way I can.
Thank you so much. And we do know that you in your own right can do wonderful things. So we are excited to have you aboard. So welcome.
Thank
also
you.
on this slide, we are currently in our annual meeting. It's virtual, obviously. It goes through Friday. And I can't look at Leanne. She's like my next Hollywood square. So she and I are, I need more coffee. But thank you all for being engaged. I have only heard wonderful things. And so I really do want to thank everyone who has had a hand in putting this conference together. And really, that's everyone. That's all of our committees, all our committee chairs, everyone on our board, as well as our executive committee, we have been so fortunate to have you all stay so engaged with us throughout this last year. And I know I say thank you every time I'm in a meeting, but I cannot do what we do with SGS alone. So I just am very grateful for the commitment that everyone brings. And I want you to know that you matter, and it has been an important year for us, and we will talk through what those are and see how SGS has pivoted. Obviously, we pivoted to a virtual conference, but there were other things that we've done over the year that has continued to keep the momentum of the wonderful work that our committees and members have been doing all year long. So any other conference updates, Leanne?
No, I think I would just like to reiterate again, even though I know you've heard it all in the sessions, how grateful we are to our sponsors. I've so enjoyed seeing people raising their SGS tumblers and seeing them write in their notebooks and making their, flashlights flicker last night during the concert. I'm so thrilled that we were able to come up with that idea and deliver that to you all. It was an interesting project, but so grateful that the sponsors helped to make that happen for you all. That's it.
Thank you so much. I cannot forget our supporters and sponsors, especially those who agreed to allow us to utilize their funds from last year when we had to cancel the conference to be able to do a lot of the wonderful things that we've been able to do throughout the year, as well as for this conference. So thank you for that reminder. All right, I think I'm gonna, oh yeah, and the swag boxes. Thank you, Christy. I that's what Leanne was just talking about, but my mother called me last night because she's been following me on social media. She's like, can I get one of those swag boxes? Where's mine? I was like, are you registered for my conference? It's amazing how our family just, loves us so much. But anyway, so the swag boxes are getting a lot of attention. So I am very thankful that we were able to do that for our members. So thank you once again. And I'm going to turn it over. Let's see what the next slide is. I don't have my multiple screens today, so I'm having to. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Stephen Studebaker to give us our Budget and Finance Committee report.
Thank you, Ashan. It is such a privilege to serve with you all. It is impossible to do anything without the leadership that we've had, and I will extend that to the future leadership is to be praised as well for coming forth and helping. As you can see from the numbers, and I hope you will look at these briefly, that and instead of me having a video of me on here, that if we're holding unrestricted funds currently of over $500,000, we are in better shape than almost any nonprofit I've ever worked with of this size, certainly. We are well positioned to keep investing in our future, and I think that's what you all are doing with your energies and time and mental treasure, and it is so appreciated. The Education Committee, the Develop Committee, and our newly established endowment fund are all beginning to crank out all kinds of information and capabilities for future expansion and fundraising and membership, and that is to be admired and applauded. The biggest thing I can say about our finances is they're applaudable and under control and well managed and well looked after by not only our investment persons, Michael Tracy, but by executive directors and all of the officers who contribute, and the chairs who contribute their attention to detail in terms of how things should be done and how monies can be expended to keep the work of this group going fantastically into the future. I do have one request, and that is of budget chairs we will be coming up with a new budget this next month, and we would like to have you submit your ideas and your needs to us rather than us guess and simply go forward on prior budgets. We need We do not do zero-based budgeting, but I heartily endorse your ideas and your needs and your desires from your committees to help us establish a new budget. We will continue investing in the future. It's been successful. It is what we will do to succeed in making this organization work towards its missions. And we thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and thank you for your leadership. Leanne, did I hear you? Were you going to say something? Oh, okay. Development, is that going to be, who's reporting that? Is Althea going to be reporting that this morning? Thank you. Incoming president, can I just say that once real quick?
Okay, if you must. Just want to first of all say great conference, guys. Haven't been able to attend everything. The osteoarthritis has been taking over in terms of being socially isolated in front of the computer for so long, and I'm dealing with that as best I possibly can. However, continuing to engage as much as possible. Thanks, you guys, Leanne, Amanda, Sean, all of you. Great conference. I just don't know how we could have been able to pull it off without you guys working so closely as a team and making it happen. So I want to say thanks for that. In terms of the development committee, it will be a multi-reporting. I'll ask Leanne to chime in as well as Karen on some of this. But first of all, just want to say thank you to all the active members on that committee. Karen said she would work as the vice chair. And I said, no, Karen, you will be a co-chair. And Karen has really been the chair for this committee. Thank you, Karen, for all the hard work you've been investing in this committee. And I'm just so pleased that we've been able to get to this point. And others that have worked so closely, Kyle and Leanne, Jamie, Amanda, Sandy, Jen, Graham, Abby, Stephen, all of you, just wonderful. So a synopsis of our accomplishment included in the comprehensive report. Typically, we had good attendance and participation for our monthly meetings all year. Initiatives were led by different members of the committee and reporting status to the committee on monthly meetings. Looking at the endowment portion here, we celebrate the success of the original fundraising campaign and report that as of January 22nd, Stephen, if I am still correct, $60,000 had been transferred into our endowment fund account to begin accumulating income. So we're looking forward to that. We're working on a plan for phase 2 of the endowment solicitation campaign, and strategies are being planned to be able to reach our funding goal of $100,000. Yes, we did not give up on that. We will not give up on that. We will continue to work toward that effort. We established an endowment fund subcommittee, and that was recently formed, and meetings were held in February and March on that. The primary responsibility, of course, is to plan strategies to determine how the income generated from the endowment fund will be distributed in the future. And members of that committee, the subcommittee, are Steve Studebaker, Kyle Bauer, Graham Rolls, Bert Waters, Ed Rosenberg, and yours truly. And we're looking forward to our continuous work together as a team on that to improve the endowment fund and reach that $100,000+. At this point, if Karen is available, I'd like for her to be prepared. Leanne, first of all, Code of Ethics Subcommittee, would you give us an update on that regarding our recent approval?
Yes, I most certainly can. Over the last year, we have worked pretty tirelessly. The efforts of, again, Dr. Graham Rolls, Dr. Sandy Lane, Dr. Abby Schwartz, and myself working on trying to define a code of ethics for SGS that would be suitable. Last year, we submitted a first draft in the fall to the board of directors. They came back with some revisions, and we made those requested revisions. And just a few weeks ago, we passed the revised edition before them, and they approved it fully. Much of the SGS Code of Ethics was designed around the American Sociological Association's Code of Ethics, and we did submit it to them, and I heard back from them 2 days ago with their blessing for us to use the content that was derived from their original documents. So we are in a position now where you'll soon see that launched, and we're very, very excited about how that has all transpired. It's been something I think we've needed for a very long time. So looking forward to sharing that with everybody.
Thanks, Leanne. Karen, are you here? If so, give us an update on the second iteration of the priority survey.
Yes, I'm here. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
And I'm sorry, every time I turn on my camera, my internet goes crazy. So I'd rather be able to talk than have you see me. It's probably better that way anyway. So we sent out an email last Thursday and also this Monday with a link to the second iteration of the survey, the SGS priorities survey. I just want to let everyone know that if you didn't receive either of those, please let me or Althea or Leanne or Amanda or anyone you can know, because the first one went out and possibly is in people's spam folders, so check that. The second one went out Monday under the correct email address, the from email address, so that should be in your regular inbox. But everybody in the, anyone who's members, anyone who's attending the conference is on that list. So we ask you to think, to put your thinking caps on and take some time. It should take 10 to 15 minutes, but we really want your serious consideration of what you think the priorities of older adults in the South, what the priorities that SGS should be considering for where there may be gaps that we could help fill. I think we did a lot of looking at and re-looking at and asking for input on the survey design. So hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory, and we would love to get as much really thoughtful feedback as possible. We're asking for that to be sent back, the responses to be sent back by next Friday, which is April 30th. And I think that's it. Anything else? Any questions about that? Did I miss anything about what's important about that survey? Does that sound good?
Thanks, Karen. Leanne, anything to add to that?
No, I was just saying that I think there's some people in chat saying they have not received it yet, and I'm sure that we've been sending out a whole lot of stuff. So things from admin at Southern Gerontological Society is probably, something maybe we just sort of gloss over. So be on the hunt for it. And I think what we'll try to do as well is discuss other strategies about how to make sure that everybody does get it out, that we see it, that it's visible. So we'll work on that.
And that's a good point, Leanne. Our intention was to send it out before the conference, thinking that would be great because it would be top of mind. But in actuality, I think you're right. With a virtual conference, it may be that we just have there are so many emails going out that maybe hopefully we won't have to deal with that again.
Okay, thank you, guys. Moving on to our partnerships, have a wonderful group of organizations and agencies and so forth. We currently have a relationship with the North Carolina Coalition on Aging as an organizational member. We have MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, with Georgia Gerontology. Early in the morning, guys, can't get these words out. Georgia Gerontology Society, Casework Network, Care Work Network, National Association of Professional Gerontologists, and of course Sigma Phi Omega. And where are we? We're pending at last, I heard, on the Ohio Association of Gerontology and Education, OAGE. So we're working with that as well. Potential relationships are being explored with AARP North Carolina as well as AARP National. Stephen's working on that, North Carolina Association on Aging, and the Southeastern Association of Area Agencies on Aging. And we also have an action item to begin to the template so that we can help define what SGS can offer and what we can expect from our partners as well. So organizations in which current SGS members are involved also should be added to this, the membership directory profile, including their focus, what they're involved with, their purpose and role in the organization. Could be a state ambassador focus or some other focus. We know that there are other organizations that we can also add to strengthen our relationship across the spectrum. So we're looking at moving forward with the development committee and making all the progress that we possibly can make to make sure that we're positively affecting all of the components as far as gerontology is concerned, as far as SGS. Any other?
I just wanted to mention, I'm sorry, I forgot to just throw in something about the Second Wind Dreams. the Cards of Light program that we talked with the Second Wind Dreams about on our networking event on Tuesday. Do you want me to tell a little bit about that?
Yes,
Do we have time?
yes, please.
I
Yes.
apologize. I meant to throw that in. So we were through the conference. We have, hopefully you all have seen and possibly even participated in the Cards of Light program, where it's a program through Second Wind Dreams out of Georgia, where they you can partner with them to get greeting cards to older adults in long-term care communities. And so that was an initiative that we wanted to do specifically through the conference, to get conference attendees to do that. But what we're hoping to do, we had them come to our development committee networking event on Tuesday, and they told a little bit about some of the other programs they have. They have a dreams program where they do like a Make-A-Wish for older adults in these communities, and they have virtual dementia tours. They have all kinds of really innovative programs that we're hoping that they reach out to states all over the United States. And so they cover all but DC and our region. So we're hoping to make an extended effort with them to do more partnerships on some of their programs with our members and older adults in the communities we serve.
Thanks, Karen. And we're also looking at working with the disaster response team of students and membership, including emergency kit for disaster preparedness and the roadmap for the future for SGS. Looking at getting that document in place and mining the regional, state gyms and SGS expertise projects that are out there. Thank you guys so much. It's been a lot of work that's gone into this committee over the past years, and your tireless efforts have been really appreciated. And if I didn't tell you that, I'm telling you now. Thank you so much. And particularly here again, as I say to Karen, you have been a champion. You hung in there with all the other challenges that you had. Thank you so much.
And I'd just like to say thank you again, Dr. Althea Taylor-Jones and Karen Appert, for your leadership on the committee, as well as all of your committee members. This has been one of our more active committees, and we are so thankful for the engagement that you all have. Okay.
Thank you.
And I did put a note in the chat that if you have questions for any of our committee chairs as they go through their reports, please feel free to put that in the chat or the question and answer section. Leanne?
I just have a quick plug. The priorities committee that includes Dr. Rolls, Dr. Schwartz, Karen, myself, Kyle Bauer, hopefully Dr. Bauer, they're doing a workshop on this tomorrow. I just tried to find the time on it. I am really sorry.
12:45.
Thank you. But please, if you're interested in how this is all transpired, this has been an ongoing process for the last 3 years, has resulted in a publication in the Journal of Applied Gerontology, as well as a webinar that was held and is on our SGS virtual video channel. Please attend. We'd love to have your participation.
Thank you. And you can keep talking.
I'll keep talking. Okay, so our membership committee, which has been fairly active this year, we've gotten 2 chairs. Unfortunately, both of them had very, very significant obligations with their other real jobs other than SGS, which I'm not sure why isn't their real job, but that's another story. So we have quite a few members that are on this committee: Lavonna Treywick, Terry Sweeney, Denise Butler, myself, Karen Appert, who's on every committee, and Matt Estrad. We've been meeting fairly regularly. I will just share with you some brief trends that we've noticed over the last couple of years. We've been tracking it. It's really, our membership stays fairly consistent. I will say that we're about to have a big bump because, as you all know, that if you are a attendee of this conference, you are either getting a 1-year renewal or a new membership, which we will start with you on May 1st. After we recover a little bit, but we hope to include and invite about 125 new members, which is very exciting. And then there's just a little bit of a breakdown of the where our professional members are, nonprofit organizational members, emerging scholars. And I will put a shameless plug out here too. We've done a lot of work with trying to enhance our membership benefits, especially for our organizational members. And those organizational members, before it was sort of vague. They got 3 people that would get conference discount rates, but there wasn't really a whole lot more than that. but we've really made an up in that. Any member of an organization who has an SGS membership was able to come and attend the conference at a reduced rate. They are able to have access to our webinars when we have those. So we've been really kind of boosting those benefits for organizational members, which is why I think we're seeing those numbers going up. Obviously, we still have our Emerging Scholars Program, which is a new membership. Last 2 years ago, I believe we implemented it. So we're seeing that slowly move up. And then, of course, our students and our Encore members coming in at the end there, but still just as important. I'll be sharing the Encore report here shortly as well. And I can assure you that I'm absolutely in love with this committee and the group that's been working so hard with me. We've tracked the trends. Okay, so I've been executive director. I think this is my 7th year. These numbers are always pretty consistent in terms of the states with the highest representation. What was very interesting over the last 2 years, because what we typically see is that in the state we hold the conference, the membership spikes that year. And obviously with 2 years with delayed conference, I was wondering what would happen with which state would move into the lead. And really, it hasn't changed all that much. Virginia was at the top because that was really kind of where we had, well, not our last conference, but Florida, but we had a lot of people from Virginia. It has a lot to do with our president too, I won't lie. And then of course, Georgia and North Carolina. The thing that I don't have on this slide, which I'm going to revisit with you too, we're going to recharge the membership committee to get started again. And one of the things that we've been really trying to do is identify our state ambassadors. And this program's just sort of, it's hit a bunch of road bumps along the way. It's okay. We'll get started again. But I think what is most important too, and what you'll find is that, you know, a year ago we elected to implement a policy and advocacy committee. And what we really need are those state ambassadors to help fuel and charge the policy and advocacy committee to be successful, bringing the news from their state, the things that are going on in legislation. So if you're interested at all, feel free to ask me questions at another time about our state ambassador program and getting involved. And there's not a massive time commitment, but we would certainly love it. And it certainly wouldn't look bad on a student's vita, or, you know, anybody's resume. There was an old item on the board's agenda from 2 years ago, before the COVID pandemic really took off, about raising membership, because we've not raised our membership, raising membership rates. We've not raised our membership rates in over 20 years. And that's not bad. I mean, obviously we're not hurting financially, we're in a good position, but the membership rates are still up for discussion, and the board is going to defer the conversation about when to implement the rate increase to when they see suitable. And that's the essence of the report.
Thank you. We, of course, have had that conversation about membership rates, but of course, we're living through a pandemic, right? So that is tabled for the moment because we really do know that there are so many other places that people can become members and engage in organizations. And we are just thankful to have the membership maintained and sustained over the last couple of years due to the pandemic. So again, thank you to those of you who are new to us, but really a special thank you and a lot of gratitude to our sustained members who continue to renew each year. So thank you for that. So next we are going to have a brief report, I guess, from Christy Jensen on the awards.
Thanks, Leanne. I love the Oscar-looking crown there. That's perfect. That leads into my brief report. So yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm Christy Jensen, and I co-chair the awards committee along with my good friend and colleague, Dr. Libby Yost. And I'm just going to give you a brief report. We are an active and fun committee, and we get the pleasure of presenting the awards each year. So first, let me back up and say that last year, when we were thrown the curveball and the meeting in Norfolk had to be canceled, we we had already selected our awardees, and there was no reason for us to put the awards recognition on hold. And so while the conference was canceled in April, in mid-May of last year, we did hold our first ever virtual awards experience and celebration, and we thought it went very well. And so we kind of feel like this is, you know, old hat to us now, and we're comfortable moving into tomorrow's awards program. So we will be asking you to join us tomorrow That's on Friday, the 23rd at 3:45 p.m. I think the schedule block is until 5:15. It may not take quite that long. And you've already heard that one of the awards we were going to give was for the 4 cocktails or mocktails. And so now we won't be doing that. We'll be able to do that perhaps later. It sounds like in June. So a few things to highlight, and just acknowledging my committee members, Ethelyn Gibson, Jen Craft Morgan, Cassandra Germain, Marianne Adams, and Sarah Mars, a terrific committee. If you're interested in getting involved with a committee, we'd be happy to have you. There's always more room. And what we have found has worked really well is that each committee member has agreed to take on an award and become really the champion for that award. That means they're helping to recruit nominations and really carefully review those and give a recommendation to the awards committee about that award, such as the applied gerontology, for example. So I did want to let you know that if you are joining us tomorrow for the awards program, we won't be presenting our GRITS, our Gerontologist Rooted in the South award this year, but we're really ramping up to present those again in 2022. And we'll be working with former GRITS awardees and any of you who would like to make a nomination. That's really our most distinguished award. And so we do treat those very carefully, and we're pleased to present 3 of those last year. I think 1 or 2 of those awardees is on with us this morning. We also will not present poster awards for students, and that's only because we elected not to have student poster presentations this year. But the student papers are currently being reviewed by the Education Committee and being judged. And so we will be able to present student paper awards tomorrow during the awards program. A couple other highlights for tomorrow is that Victor Marshall's daughter will be joining us to help Jen Craft Morgan present and induct our new Victor Marshall Fellows, also a very esteemed award and in its 3rd year now. Also tomorrow, we'll be giving a special shout out to the current editor, Julie Robinson, and the JAG team as they celebrate their 40th anniversary. And Leanne or Amanda, if I can pause for a minute, I believe Julie presents something today on JAG. Can you just remind us of that or put it in the chat so that we can continue to support JAG and the great partnership we have with SAGE. And while you're looking that up, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I know that was coming up at some point today. The last thing, two more quick things, is that it's not too soon to be thinking about the 2020 awardees. And so the award nominations will open up online on the SGS website this fall. There'll be a deadline likely in February of next year so that we can present those awards in early April in Florida together next year. So begin to think about that. We welcome self-nominations. If you want to just pass us a name, we can do the digging to verify their membership and their eligibility and other things like that. Okay, and thank you, Ishan. She's saying meet the JAG editors tomorrow morning, Friday morning at 10:30. And then you'll hear from Julie again briefly during our awards presentation. And then the last is wear your hat tomorrow, your favorite celebratory hat to our awards program. A little backstory to this. Last year, when we wanted to really get some excitement around our first red carpet type of award event virtually, the committee decided that we would wear hats. And what happened is that as folks joined the session virtually, they saw us in hats and they left their camera and then came back with a hat on. And so it kind of from the ground up truly became and the hats were amazing. So be creative, be fun, and come with your favorite hat. Feel free to fill your SGS tumbler with your favorite beverage, and we'll toast each other and our awardees tomorrow. So join us at 3:45 tomorrow afternoon. And that ends our awards report.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen, and thank you to your co-chair, Dr. Libby Yost, on having such an amazing committee, because if anyone who has ever done nominations or awards committees know how difficult it can be to generate energy around these awards. But we have so many wonderful people that we would like to celebrate. So I really do hope that you all stay with us for tomorrow. That's our closing kind of ceremony, is the award ceremony, and it's always well attended. Please come and cheer on your colleagues, because that's one of the other things I think we do well at SGS is celebrate each other. So I hope you can join us.
On that note too, if we were in person, I would be at this point probably shuffling around with nomination slips, because we really sometimes just forget about the amazing work of our colleagues until we come to these conferences. And I mean, I've even seen some things this morning that I think just deserve awards, and it would be really just fabulous, especially the best practices and the media. Those tend to be the ones that are often the hardest for us to find, because there's so much to sort through. So in even your experience throughout this conference, going back and watching other videos, if there's someone you think is doing really good work, nominations is not hard. Send me, send Christy, send Libby their name, and we will help follow up to make sure those nomination letters get written and that they are considered. Because the worst thing is coming up to the awards, process and going, well, we haven't gotten any submissions, and then going to chase them, which, it happens for anybody, but it just would be great to have more participation from those people who know that there's really good things happening about it, and we want to know about it too. Thanks.
Thank you. And next on our, we will have Dr. Morgan, Jen Craft Morgan, to say a little bit about the conference. I thought
Absolutely.
Oh,
okay. I like the image, my book in my heart. That's just about me. That's great. I just wanted to say first that I co-chaired this committee with two others, Adrian Cohen and Tim Marie Williams, and they've done a fabulous job. This committee is a super hardworking committee, especially this year as we took on the virtual conference with your talented leadership. Ethelyn Gibson is in this committee, Cynthia Hancock, Siobhan Mingo, Libby Yost, and Lisa Weesey. I really appreciate this committee. Also, we conscripted all of the VM Victor Marshall Fellows into helping us as discussants and moderators, and they did a fabulous job and are doing a fabulous job as discussants. Those paper sessions are going really well. I just want to appreciate those folks and some, mysterious other colleagues that I just voluntold to do things have fit in there. And so thank you so much for be availing of yourself of these wonderful volunteer opportunities. So we appreciate all that have come together to make this conference happen, which is the entire SGS membership. And the attendees. So I wanted to just say that at the very beginning of this, when we were talking about pivoting, that's our favorite word this year, pivoting again and trying to develop a virtual conference, this committee came together and said, we don't want a conference that's like every other virtual conference that we saw. We want something that is first fun, and then second, an opportunity to really network and not just look at a screen all day. And third, to really think about engaging our emerging scholars and our students, and in ways that I think they might have been disenfranchised from other virtual events. And so we really wanted to ramp that up. And I hope we've been successful in that. Where we have, I'd love for you to comment on, you don't have to do it now, but in terms of all of the things, I'd love for you to hear your comments. Please fill out your conference evaluation. We want to keep doing innovative things in SGS over going forward. And while we hope that we're in person in Panama City Beach next year, which we will be, we also have learned all of these skills in terms of virtual conferences and webinars and uploading content and doing all those things, which are, 21st century skills. And there's no reason why we can't continue to innovate. So if you like things, tell us. If you didn't like things, tell us. Please fill out the evaluation. I just wanted to highlight that there are a few things left in the conference that you should be thoughtful about and aware of. One is that we're having our student feedback sessions. This is a new thing. Each of the students were engaged in the paper discussions if they uploaded their presentations. All of the presentation uploads were judged by Victor Marshall Fellows or Gero Ed volunteers. They were all watched and they all have feedback forms that the students are going to get after our sessions tomorrow. Denise Scruggs volunteered to lead one of those feedback sessions. Thank you, Denise. And I'm going to do the other one. What we're going to be covering there is just about how to do an oral presentation. What should you know about networking? How can you become more involved, and how can SGS support you? And do a little bit specifically about those student papers. So they had an opportunity to be part of the paper discussions, just like all attendees, but they also have an opportunity to be part of these student feedback sessions. So if you are a mentor and you want to join us in those tomorrow, I would love to have more people chiming in about how to support students. So please join us in those two sessions tomorrow. And then the closing plenary is our part of our collaboration with the CareWork Network that I'm also leading the ad hoc committee for the CareWork Network with Luis Oldridge, who is a member of the CareWork Network. This partnership has been really fruitful, and we will are doing this closing plenary with Dr. Williams, Dr. Jensen, and Dr. Cranford from the network. And I am so looking forward to this. So don't miss the closing plenary. And then, of course, the awards. Come to the awards session. It's the most fun that you can have in front of a screen, I think. So did I miss anything, Leanne, Amanda? Missing anything? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
We did thank Adrienne for her amazing trivia session, didn't we? I mean,
oh, she did a fantastic job. That was so much fun. I think all the networking sessions coming out of the committees have been excellent. Thank you so much for being voluntold to do that. And thank you for coming through and making that wonderful.
It was delightful. I mean, even having to squirt, which math is never a good day for me, but yesterday for sure. So hoping I got the winner correct, but I believe the Aging Avengers took home the prize. So that was very exciting.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jen Kraft Morgan and your committee for the amazing work. This has been a heavy lift, and it does not go unnoticed how much work and creativity the committee itself has done, and just everyone who has joined in towards the end just to help us pull all these things together. So thank you for that. This is also Jen's report, but we're gonna let her come back and kind of introduce the people that have been elected. Are you good, Jen? Do you want to say anything right now or go? Okay, so we're going to keep going, Leanne. And so I'm going to ask Dr. Candace Kemp to give a report about the Publications Committee.
Good morning, everybody. I just, before I start, wanted to acknowledge and thank Ishan and Leanne and Amanda et al. For your amazing leadership. The conference is going really well, both through me personally, but I've heard a lot of wonderful feedback, so thank you. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Candace Kemp, and along with Dr. Connie Kuhl, I chair the Publications Committee. And as our slide shows, the Journal of Applied Gerontology, the Open Access Journal Gerontology and Geriatric Medicine, social media, and our newsletter, the Southern Gerontologists, are all in our committee's purview. In the interest of time, I'm just going to hit the highlights for each, but if anybody wants to elaborate or has questions, please jump in. And I also see that Lauren is on the call, so hi, Lauren. Maybe you can help out with the social media piece. So first of all, JAG continues to thrive under the leadership of editor Julie Robinson, with the assistance of terrific editorial managers, Christine Bailey and Kaylee Liggis, and the support of the amazing team at Sage Publishing, including Stephanie Valadero, Kate Mooney, and Wendy Tilley. By all metrics, including the number of downloads, the impact factor, which is 2.14, and ranking 11 out of 36 in gerontology journals, time to first decision, which is about 18 days, and the impressive 22% acceptance rate, as well as impressive circulation rates. And the financials, our royalties were an impressive approximately 1,000 this year. The journal is doing really well. In fact, in order to manage the escalating number of submissions, Julie introduced an associate editorial system. So she has introduced 4 associate editors, Carrie Henning-Smith, Chris Kelly, Catherine Orenstein, and Molly Perkins, as well as Keith Anderson as book review editor. So this is just to manage the sheer volume and help her identify reviewers and make decisions. And some of you might recall that we've had an ongoing backlog issue that resulted from the lag time between online papers being accepted online and those ultimately being printed in print publication. But Sage Publishing is moving to a flexible page budget in the second quarter, and we're all excited about the fact that this hopefully will eliminate the backlog. The journal has a special collection on COVID-19 and older adults, and new articles are continually being added. We also have a special issue on equity and social determinants of health. And in May, we'll see one on technology and another one on global caregiving issues. That should come out in July. The podcast series continues to do well. So please consider being a reviewer for JAG, including the new reviewer in training option, which you can mentor new reviewers along the way as you do reviews. Please also submit your work to JAG and encourage your colleagues and students to do the same. As Christy mentioned, Dr. Robison is hosting a live meet and greet session tomorrow at 10:30, and that'll be on stage 1, so please take advantage of this opportunity. Next, GGM also continues to do well. There are 2 co-editors there, Dr. Ron Handy and Dr. Deborah Dobbs. And they're supported by Sage Publishing's Natalie Gershon. This is an open access journal. They also have a number of timely special collections and issues, and there's an ongoing call for guest editors. So if you're interested in that, please check out the journal website. So I do encourage you to visit both journals' websites to learn about the opportunities, see what's being published. You can subscribe to email alerts if you haven't already, and these will inform you about the release of new contents and other journal-related news. And again, please consider, contributing and helping spread the word, which leads me to our social media updates. It's been 1.5 years since Lauren Hunt from Sage Publishing became SGS's first social media strategist, and she's been amazing. So SGS's online presence on Facebook and Twitter has grown exponentially, and I'm going to let her maybe just sort of fill us in on some of those statistics and some of her activities. And I'm sure she will encourage you to like us or follow us on Facebook and Twitter and tag us and share our posts. So I'm going to let her elaborate if she wouldn't mind.
Thanks, Candace. And yes, please follow us, like our posts. It's really helpful when we have all of you engaged. So good morning, everyone. It's been quite a busy year for social media with well over 1,500 social media posts and 10,000 engagements with those posts, which is a pretty good engagement rate. So we're at over 2,200 followers on Twitter and about 750 on Facebook. We're still weighing more towards SGS members connecting on Facebook and the broader gerontology community interacting with us on Twitter. We've been hearing great feedback on the conference online with multiple people saying that it's the best virtual conference they've attended. So kudos to all of you for being here and to the planning committee. It's been fantastic. And thank you so much to everyone who's been posting and engaging in the social media content during the conference online. Please continue to keep that up. And if you aren't engaged with us on social media, please follow us to stay up to date on society news, conference fun, and journal content. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Yeah, this is just such a great way to spread all the news about the society and what we're doing and research and service. And so please do consider getting involved in our social media activities. And last but not least, since we last met, SGS adopted a new publishing software platform that has worked out, but the committee has also been discussing new publication models for the newsletter. So most importantly, as the slide indicates, we're searching for a managing newsletter editor. So if you're interested or know somebody who is, please do let us know. And one final thing before I wrap up our report. Connie and I are stepping down as co-chairs. I'll leave the announcement of the new chair to others, but wanted to end by saying that it's been an honor to work with all of you. We both appreciate everyone's support and are especially grateful to Leanne, Sean, Amanda, and the entire committee for their invaluable contributions and their ongoing support. And I personally want to thank Connie for her leadership and dedication to SGS and the committee, and thank her for her mentorship, guidance, and friendship. And thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Candace. I know I'm like doing the heart because both Candace and Connie have been leading our publications committee for many years. I don't even want to start to remember how long, and it may even be a second or third term for Connie. I'm not even sure. So we really, oh yeah, she's definitely been a huge supporter of the publications committee and our journal, and Candace, you as well. And we have just thrived under your leadership on the committee and have gotten amazing people on the editorial board. Some of them are SGS members, which we love. So really, we do know that you're going to continue to stay engaged, and Connie as well. I'm not sure if she's on the call today, but someone tell her, you know, that we have been, her invaluable leadership as well as yours, Candy, has really continued to take the journals in new, innovative ways. And so we're excited to see you move on to other things, but are also excited to bring in some new leadership. So be on the lookout for a new publications chair, but we'll talk more about where the openings are on other committees as we move on. So thank you again, Candace, for your report. Leanne, did you, and yeah, my hands, my thank you hands. Leanne, did you have something?
We have a question that came in before we move on from social media.
Okay.
What about Instagram? Is the question. Does SGS have a presence on Instagram?
So we have an Instagram account. It was managed by one of our students. We have, in the upgrades between Instagram and Facebook, kind of lost the link to it. And we found it really difficult to find content. One of the reasons why is because obviously Instagram is photograph based, and we are very concerned about the rights of people we photograph and put in public. So we need, I think probably one of those things for the publication committee going forward is considering what kind of content we want to put on Instagram. How do we deal with the fact that we need model permissions? Those sorts of things are pretty important. But I agree. I think it's obviously a hot vehicle and we need to be capitalizing on the opportunity to use it more often.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Leanne, I'm not good at reading sign language this morning. So did I miss something else?
Well, Amanda was on this side of my Hollywood Squares and I was like,
oh,
sorry, it is early.
We can't, so, okay.
It's fine. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
It's all good. So like I can move on. Okay.
Yep.
So sorry. I just have water right now. So it's coming, guys. It's coming. So so this is the next slide. That we just wanted to make sure that everyone who's been serving on our committee, on our board, our board of directors for the year 2020 to 2021, please reach out and just say thank you if these folks are not here today, because I really have been saying thank you all day, but it really cannot be done. The work of an organization that isn't a volunteer organization cannot be done without such wonderful volunteers. So thank you everyone who is listed here. If you see your name, give yourself a big hug from me, because I am a hugger most days. I don't know, post-COVID. But generally, you know, those of you who know me well know that I am indebted to your service for this organization. Again, thank you. And then we want to also thank our committee leadership. And so these, again, you've heard from many of these folks this morning. Some didn't have a report, so you didn't hear from them, but we wanted to say thank you for chairing these committees. And thank you for your leadership. And what we'd like to do always is to, once you know, if we were in person, we typically have a session where you can learn more about these committees if you're new to the organization, so that you can join into some of this work. And this is a great way to actually get into leadership at the organization. As you join committees, we like to look for who's working on those committees to see if they would then become chair and likely move up to our board to be in executive leadership as well. So please consider that as I'm gonna turn it, I think the next slide is gonna be the new elected members. So I'm gonna turn it over to Jen to say that. Because I think you really kind of start here. Sort of.
Sure. This is,
Okay.
yeah, I'm off the executive committee as of June 30th, July 1st, after how many years? 6 years. So I'm excited for Althea and Bert and Ishan to take on past president duties, and Stephen and Kyle. Kyle and Stephen were re-elected. Stephen for 1 year extension of his term, and Kyle for secretary is a 1 year term. And then Bert Waters was elected president-elect to complement our already elected Althea Taylor Jones. So you have a fantastic executive committee. Fantastic.
So before you move on, if Althea can put her camera on for a second, if she's still with us. Because I had to figure out a moment when I could do this. as I'm waiting to see if I can't see her on my screen, so I'm gonna have to scroll. There she is.
She's there.
There she is. So Althea, it is with great pride and pleasure to take this gavel that I have and pass it to you officially as the incoming president. So this is our final board meeting before new elected officers take their role on July 1. So we like to have this symbolic ceremony. And so again, there you go. So am I passing it through space, Althea? Oh my goodness, she got it.
I have it.
I already feel a huge amount of relief and support from my wonderful colleague. And just know that I will still be obviously on your executive board, and I'm so thrilled to have you as the new incoming president. So you will have an amazing executive committee as we have seen here. And so just looking forward so much to your future leadership and what you've already contributed. So thank you. And okay, that's all I wanted.
Thank you. Just wanted to say, I just can't believe it's been 11 years since I officially retired from academia. And looking at that, my sincere engagement as far as service is concerned has been very positive, and particularly with SGS. Being involved or engaged with SGS at the university prior to my retirement and so forth, and then re-upping, as they say, going back to continue that engagement after retirement has been a great positive experience for me, particularly during this pandemic with the social isolation and so forth. Ishan, just want to say thank you again for your leadership and everything that you have poured into this organization over the last couple of years, given all the challenges that we've had. I feel like I've been held hostage for the couple of years with the pandemic now. It seems like 2 years, but a little over a year. And just wanted to say that I'm so grateful to all of you for your support. Ishan, Leanne, Amanda, and all of the foundational group. And when I say foundational group, I'm talking about that foundation, Jen Craft Morgan, and the rest of those persons that have been there to make sure this organization is moving forward. It's been an awesome task to assume this leadership position with such an innovative organization, particularly during this conference. It has really solidified my belief that we're moving forward. So I know that any leader is only as great as the contributors to the success of the organization. So with that being said, post-pandemic, what will we be doing? What will be our new normalcy in our post-pandemic? We can only move forward together as a team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if you all could tell, but I was super excited to do that. So I'm going to go back to you, Jen, because I think the next slide is for you.
I just wanted to ask Bert if he wanted to say anything. I'm just so excited to have you as president-elect.
Thank you. I really am not prepared to say anything, but thanks, Jen. And I really do thank Sean especially. And I look forward to working with Althea more because we've been working together for the last couple of years. And it's really exciting. I think about it as far as past presidents and looking at the names of the past presidents, and that includes Ed Ansello and Connie Kugel, who are in my office. And so now I can follow in their footsteps. It's really exciting. That's it.
Congratulations, Bert.
Incredibly exciting. And then for member at large, we had 4 spots to fill this year. And we've got Denise Scruggs back on, Abby Schwartz is a new board member, Jennifer De La Cruz back on, and Fayron Epps back on. And that's just so exciting. We have a fantastic board to support our fantastic executive committee and the organization as a whole. So it's lovely to be nominations chair. And now I hand that nominations chair over to Ashan as past president. Aren't you lucky? Please, as Christy said for awards, get your nominations in, self-nominate yourself for the board. It's usually good to get some committee experience, to sign up to be a committee chair and to get that experience. And then often that leads into board experience and executive committee experience. And we need all of you, and we welcome all of you. And just wanted to say, yay for our new board.
And before Leanne, well, we can pass it because I think it comes up again where we show where the openings will be for positions. Oh, although we're not in person, I thought it was important that we have the SGS officer oath. So, and I know that because this is also virtual, a lot of our incoming board members or newly elected board members are not able to be with us today. But it is recorded, and I'm certain they will go back and listen to this. So I'm going to read the SGS officer oath. And if you are here and you're coming on as a newly elected board member or committee, in our that was newly elected, please say this along with me on mute. No, because I don't think it'll come through really well. So here we go. In accordance with the mission of the Southern Gerontological Society, I do solemnly pledge as a member of the 2021 Board of Directors to work as a leader for this organization and to use this leadership position to help improve developments in the field of gerontology. I also pledge to engage as an active advocate for the development of new initiatives and strategies to improve gerontological literacy, research, and practice within the South. Okay, it's out in the universe. It's there. Woo. I know I'm getting a little silly now, but this is so important, and we do appreciate all of the volunteers and elected officers. Thank you for being willing to run. For those of you who ran, please run again if you didn't get elected, and because there's always room for you in SGS. So we want to make sure that that you know that. So thank you. And next, where are we? Oh, so here are the following committees that still need leadership and new members in 2021 for the next year. The Encore Committee, which has been led so graciously by a dear colleague friend of mine, Dr. Lisa Wiese, who's not able to be here. Bylaws, I see you, Andrew. Bylaws Committee Chair Andrew Ferguson is stepping down as well. We need a student rep that can lead our student committee. And the student can be from anywhere, any organization, any university. And then we also, we're going to reinstitute, I believe, this program committee for 2022. So this year, because of the changes in everything, we really leaned heavily on our Gerontological Education Committee, which will be supportive, I'm certain, in the future for this planning of the conference. But we really do want to go back to our the way that we've used program committees in the past. So really be thinking about if you're planning to come to that conference, if you'd like to be involved, especially if you're close to Florida, it can help us in that area. But think about ways in which you can be engaged in these committees.
And I beg forgiveness, I did not put policy and advocacy committee on here, and this is one of the most important things I think we need to get launched this year, is making sure that that committee gets spun up as successful and starts to really do some work that's necessary, especially after given the last year. So apologize for missing that.
Leanne, do you have membership committee chairs?
Terry Sweeney and Denise Butler are going to stay on.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep.
I thought I heard differently.
No.
Okay. And here again are chairs who are being, what's that?
It's just a recap.
A recap, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It looks different, so I was going to read it again. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, yay. So we made it. Yay, to the end. All right. So just in true form to Ishan, and since I'm exiting as president and as I'll be past president with Althea, I'm so excited. I can cause a little bit more commotion. And we're going through slides.
Something. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I missed this report and I don't know how I skipped over it. One moment while we back up for just a second. And Dr. Lisa was not able to come. That's why I skipped off my radar. So I'll reflect this report for her. I just would really like to thank first and foremost the members of this committee, which includes Dr. Graham Rolls, Dr. Ed Rosenberg, Dr. Stephen Marson, Dr. Paula Steffen, Priscilla Pittman, and of course, Chair Lisa Wiese. I've had such a great time working with this committee, and I think this is one of my pride and joys, because I remember one of the first conferences I was director at, I had Bill Lamb came up to me and he goes, you know, we really need to resurrect the senior committee. And I was like, well, great, let's do it. And so I was trying to lure all these people in, and of course, we finally got it spun up. And this year and last year, I mean, under the leadership of Caroline Westeroff to start a couple years back, really started to see some great things come out of this committee. The t-shirts we presented at the 40th anniversary, that artwork was the result of an older adult artist. The Meals in Memory was a collection and a networking experience that happened collaboratively between the student committee and the Encore committee. We see this now that they're working on creating a mentorship link, and they've mentored quite a few students over the last years, Dr. Marson especially being a critical component, helping people with dissertation questions, including myself, which I will value forever. And then, of course, I just really want to encourage you, because I've had so much fun helping them develop tomorrow's networking session. I don't know if they've had fun. I think they've probably been like, what are we getting ourselves into? But they have trained themselves as a committee to start using Kahoot as a tool to help facilitate conversations. And so tomorrow's networking experience, which is at 11:45. It's 11:45. We're going to do a Kahoot quiz. So come and have Kahoot on like an iPad or a phone. We've got some great questions we've developed, and certainly pass the information on to any students who might be needing help. Even not just students, emerging practitioners or research persons, they're happy to help whoever, and there's a link there to help get you linked into the mentorship program. So I just, again, can't say enough about what they've been up to, and thrilled to have worked with them over this past year.
I was muted.
Okay, now.
I think we can actually stop sharing the slides, because if we have an opportunity to do open discussion for those of you who are on the panel, you have the opportunity to show your screen or not. But also, I want to open up the floor in the chat for anybody who has comments, questions on anything. We have plenty of time left here at the end, or if you have a Q&A question that you'd like to put in the Q&A section, that's also available to you. But one of my final things that I wanted to do as president was to, this is, one of SGS's seminal events is our annual meeting that we have every year. And it does not go without a heavy lift by our executive director and now our executive director in training. And I'm trying to hold it together. I thought I was going to do good, but I'm not doing that great. Sorry, Leanne. But as I've mentioned earlier, Leanne is ending her contract with SGS. You can even hear it in my voice. Okay. Ending her contract with SGS and will be going on. She is still with us until July 1st, but this is our largest event that we'll be having. And I just thought it was really important to, again, say formally to the membership that we, the board and committees that have been very supported by you this whole time, the 7 years that you've been here, and we could not, we've just done amazing things. The organization has improved and has changed and been innovative, and a lot of that under your new ideas and your leadership. And so we are so happy for you to move on. And right behind you there is my dear friend and outgoing bylaws chair. I know you're probably throwing tomatoes at me right now, or baby goats. No, not really. But if you don't have to open any of this right now, but these are tokens of appreciation again from your board and the committee members who have really been wanted to support you and just wanted you to know how important you have been to the organization. So again, thank you for your leadership, Leanne, as executive director. And you do not have to say a word. You do not. We can see, because I'm not going to do good. But it just shows, for those who may not be familiar with the organization, this is a family. This has been a family, and it is a joy to support you, Leanne, as you move on. So I'm going to stop and give you a moment. Again, you don't have to open the gifts if you don't want to. You can show them at the award ceremony later. I just knew that we had enough time here to do the presentation. It is not a hat. It's not a hat. But also, if I do want to open this time, if there are people who want to say some things, please do, as well as we want to have time for open discussion about the conference as well. But I just had to.
And before anybody says anything, this is not my funeral. I'm not dying. I've had so many wonderful comments. You guys have been so gracious to me. And this really has just been such an amazing journey. I've always loved SGS. I mean, Dr. Lauren Baumhover and Dr. Ed Rosenberg and Dr. Ed Foltz at Appalachian State University drugged me to my first SGS meeting when I was a student. And I immediately just loved the workings of things and how people came together, and it's never changed for me. When I left school, of course, I came back as a professional, and then I came back when I was in academia, again at Appalachian State University, which seems to be a vortex that just keeps sucking us back in. Anyways, and now I've done this, and what I miss the most is just being among the ranks as an attendee, and I cannot wait to share space with you again. And you have not seen the last of me, and I've genuinely, this has been my family. Some of you are my absolute best friends. I was in Dr. Welliford's session this morning, and I realized that all the bubbles were SGS people. This is my family, and I care for you all so much. So thank you.
I think one of the things that's in her packet, Ishan, her gift is a maybe we'll give her a free membership for the next year to SGS.
So be it.
Hey, if that's what it takes us to get you back to conferences, so we can see you on the attendee and presenter side. Just imagine you won't have to lug all of those printers and computers and all those things. I mean, so there probably are some benefits to virtual, but we are excited to have Amanda step in and to have a conference together next year and to have you with us on this side of it. So thank you. I share many stories with Leanne over the years, so I won't go through all of them, but probably one of our favorite is when we were at GSA together. a few years ago when it was at Disney. And gosh, I don't know, 4 or 5 at least years ago. And we shared a room, which was a whole nother fun story. But we were there representing SGS to promote interest that November for the coming up SGS conference the next spring. And we were able to do that successfully. I remember Lenny Poon hanging out with us and helping us promote. I mean, just some, stalwarts in the field. But Leanne and I decided to go meet a friend of mine from high school who happened to be in Disney, and we went down to downtown Disney. And it was a lovely evening until we decided to leave and walk back to the hotel in a pouring storm. And then Leanne decided to capture pictures of us looking like wet rats the whole way home, but nonetheless, a lot of fun. So one of my favorite, but many memories. And Leanne has also taught several of us about what it's like to also live on a farm. And so, the experiences that she's had in nature literally are just amazing and also really appreciated. So thank you, Leanne.
Christy Jensen is always so eloquent, and I'm never so good at these things. So I hate to follow her, but I would do it anywhere. Christy's one of the best gems of SGS. We have so many gems of SGS. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for helping us through all of these hard times. Thank you for being my crutch during my presidency. Thank you so much for being who you are and all of the energy and enthusiasm that you've poured into this organization has been amazing. So I told myself I wasn't going to cry this time. There was no reason to cry.
The worst part is
we're going to be virtual. I can't believe you guys made me cry again. Terrible.
This is all being recorded. You guys, we gotta pull this
together. I know. Look, I'm going to be red-faced the whole time. But I love you, and I appreciate you.
Always. Thank you.
And I'd like to say, apologize to Amanda in advance, because I'm going to be calling you Leanne once or twice at least. That's the problem I had with Leanne too. So.
If I'm called Leanne, I will take it as a huge compliment. And yeah, so please, I would be happy to be Leanne.
Floor is open for anyone else. If you want to move to the conference conversation, that is also on the table. We have, again, we won't belabor and keep you. If you need to leave, please do so. But we wanted to see if there was feedback or questions about the conference at all as well.
Yeah, and any other ideas that we should be considering for SGS as we move forward, that's certainly appropriate at this point. We'd love to hear those. I know you all are mulling over things. You're like, gosh, if they did this, or there is never a bad idea. There is never a wrong idea. I like to think that if we collect 20 good ideas, maybe we can implement at least 12 of them. I'm like, right there at the C or above kind of what that math worked out. You've all made me cry, so math is not happening. But anywho, we just really would like to hear those, and I think the thing that I think I miss most at a virtual conference is not being able to see the person who's come to a conference for the first time that's kind of in the corner, that doesn't feel like they've gotten the proper welcome. They're not sure if they fit into this conference. And even if you're listening to this on a recording after watching this Nibble Fest, I really want you all to recognize that SGS is an inviting place and space for everybody. As long as you're not a jerk. I mean, we limit jerk restrictions, but I miss going up. I don't know, somebody wrote it on my kudos board. It might've been you, Abby, about how you were like, I don't know anybody here. And I'm like, yes, you do. You're with friends now. And I love that you remember that, because that's what I miss most about being in a place with new people. And I want everybody to recognize that everybody on this board, non-intimidating as anything, and we'll listen to you. Wow, that's exciting, Amanda. Sorry, I got the news that we're up to $272 for our donation campaign. That's fabulous. But certainly, please make sure you connect with myself, Amanda, Dr. Williams is awesome. Anybody on this, call is awesome. So we're here for you to support you in whatever way we can.
So Ishan, if you're feedback, there will be a survey, I'm guessing, that would come out to all the attendees, right? A post-conference evaluation. So, you know, I think we can encourage folks to take another week or two to answer those questions after the conference, and maybe that gives you an opportunity for recommendations. I mean, I suspect that there will be folks who can't join us in Florida next year who will want to and will ask if there's a dual in-person and virtual option. So perhaps you all have already considered that, or we need to talk to the newly coming together program committee about that piece. But in terms of this 2021 conference, I was late getting to the game and reading the emails and downloading the WebEx plugin, and perhaps some of you were right there with me. And then we couldn't use a video clip we wanted in one of our presentations. And so I'll be very honest that at first I was like, oh no, what have we gotten ourselves into? But my impressions have turned 360, and it has been very smooth. And I can't remember which session it was in, but I believe it was Tuesday when we first kicked off after Dr. Bird's keynote, which was wonderful. Sean, thank you for organizing her to be with us. There was one session where there were some audio issues, and maybe Leanne and Amanda, you were both on, and I just paused for a minute because you were so calm. It may have even been when Sean was speaking before you introduced Dr. Bird. I can't remember, but Leanne and Amanda were both on, and I know you all been tag teaming on different stages. So you were both together, and you were so calm, and you had your headsets on and all these laptops in front of you, your command center, as Andrew has referred to it. And it almost felt like I was watching a news, you know, where there's a breaking event and the news reporters are just trying to find things to talk about to fill the time, and they do tend to remain fairly calm. You all just handled it with grace, and that there isn't anything you can do to prepare for those situations. It's just being who you are. And so that's one particular note that I'll take away from the conference, is that, and I thank everybody, right? We all just jumped in. We're trying a new platform. We didn't know what it was going to be like. We had to commit to it early before we really knew what we were getting into, and you guys have done it with grace. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. I just want to make sure people are noticing the chat. I'll read what Dr. Burgess has said. She just wants to thank everyone who came to the pain lecture last night. Thank you to Amanda, Leanne, and Sean for helping make this happen logistically. Dr. Whitfield was inspiring, and we will have the recording available. Such great partnership, and it really was a wonderful evening, and so really happy we had such great attendance as well, even though it was virtual. I really don't think we would have been able to get Dr. Whitfield had it not been a pandemic. So I'm really grateful that he said yes as well. So great.
And can I just say the recording of that is up on the conference website under the description. All of the recordings from our first 2 days are up. So if you go to the session that you missed, you should see it there. We've also bundled those by day. So if you go to on demand in your menu at the top, you can easily find those. And we'll also, I'm working on getting slides up. We're creating a link because we can't add that attachment in the system, but we'll have a link to those as well so people can get that great information. So that's happening much quicker than we thought. So we're excited that we're able to get those recordings up pretty much the next day. So that's exciting.
Great. Thank you. Any final comments or thoughts from anybody on that has the ability to speak?
I just want to reiterate that I was so appreciative in my comments about all of the past. I'm so looking forward to working with you, Amanda. I'm looking forward to the support that Leanne gives you, that all of the knowledge and capabilities that are going to be available to you, Amanda. Reach out to all of us whenever you have any question. QuickBooks will not bite any of us. Thank you, Leanne. We are in good hands, and I am so pleased. I need it.
Thanks, Stephen.
You all have been so welcoming already. I really appreciate it. I have so many questions and so much I want to learn, and we've just sort of put all of that on the side, like get through conference, and then give ourselves like a week and then start brain download. And Leanne and I are actually going to check out our great conference location for next year, so she can walk through also as like a little, well, like it's a perk, you know, it's like, let's go to Florida and talk for a little, you know, but we're going to go check that out and start that. And I'll definitely be calling on you guys. I thank you. I am completely aware of the tremendous job Leanne has done. And so just know that I have no thoughts about the fact that I'm coming into a huge role to fill. And I am more than happy to be like, this is what we love that Leanne did and work through that. But I hope that I can bring, you know, anytime you bring a new person, you bring kind of a new perspective and a fresh set of eyes on things. And I hope I'm able to bring a different spin to things and hopefully do some things. And I'm glad that Leanne is not disappearing. So I can definitely call on her for some things as well. But if you could see the text messages that are going back between us during this conference, I told her I may just hire you out of my own pocket for emotional conference support. You don't have to do anything except let me text back and forth with you, because that part has been one of the most fun things for us during this conference or our conversation. So thank you all. And I'm truly looking forward to learning more and getting into the weeds once the conference is over and I can learn about SGS more as a whole outside of just, you know, the hi, welcome, start planning this conference with us. So thank you.
Amanda, it's similar to the vaccine. Claim your spot. You have a spot and you will illuminate that spot. I'm sure we can count on that. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to working with you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to joining you as you start your presidency. We'll start together. And so it'll be exciting time for that new leadership. So I'm looking forward to our close partnership.
Yeah, and I will say this
Great.
on top of that. When I came into this organization, I had every intention to make everybody who was seated in like old, you know, and not that I don't have respect for tradition. That's not what I'm saying, but I wanted to shake things up, and I did. I did, and I was so grateful for the people that gave me room for that. And I really hope, Amanda, that everybody shows you the same support. I mean, it wasn't always comfortable and it wasn't always fun, but change isn't. So I think if SGS continues to experience growing pains, even if they're mild or major, it means that they're headed in the right direction. And I would love you to change everything if it means for the better of this organization. So
did I hear you say, Leanne, you and Amanda are going to Florida to check out the conference location? Well, you clearly need some of us to chaperone.
I need chaperones always.
I definitely think it's a budgetary meeting.
Okay, pick me.
It's an executive meeting.
Yes.
Well, I mean, granted, we're going to be there all of 18 hours. It's not going to be like a super leisurely thing.
Right. Well, you can take a few pictures.
I'm literally driving down there, spending one night and driving back because I've still got some child caregiving, but I will take that mini little glimpse of the beach.
Good.
Road trip.
Good. And then you can give us a glimpse of what we have to look forward to together next year. One other comment, Sean, I wanted to make as you all are celebrating the donations that are coming in place of our silent auction, is that next year, assuming we are together and we can have a silent auction, if any of you are like me, I had things for Norfolk, I had things for Baltimore to bring. And so, well, now I'm going to have to figure out how to fit that in my luggage to get to Florida. But so I have a silent auction stash in my closet. So I would encourage those of you who haven't thought about that yet, just to, get excited. Especially it's fun to see if you bring something from your home state or home community or home agency that we can celebrate and include in the silent auction.
And thinking back to what Jen mentioned earlier, we've learned a lot about virtual platforms and how to use them. It is a huge possibility that, because I'm like you, Christy, I was like, we have so many things that were supposed to be in Norfolk and then Baltimore, that people have gathered. We may think about a way to do an online silent auction so that people do not have to travel with so much stuff if you are traveling, so that we can and that's easy to do. I think that's easy to do, and then things can be shipped, easier for those who might be flying to Florida, like myself. So definitely be on the lookout for how things are going to continue to be innovative and change, and working through, adding the new skills to things, even if we're able to be face to face. So I'm really excited about the opportunities.
I hope you
So
guys are watching the chat. Whatever you guys are doing with the donation thing, keep it up, because that is absolutely amazing. The fact that it just jumped from 300 to almost 6. And we have, that's just fabulous. So we put the link there. If you can't find it later, it's on the homepage of the conference. If you can't find it there after the conference, we always have the donate button on our SGS website. So, however we need to part you with your money. No, that's not what I meant. Anyways, just note for self.
well, given that this is my last board annual meeting as president, I'm excited to knock this gavel one more time, and I'm not going to hit my computer, but I'm just going to symbolically adjourn this meeting. So thank you all, and please go enjoy the rest of the conference the next 2 days. Thank you so much. This meeting is now adjourned.
Before I hit stop, 630, y'all are doing awesome. It's going up, up, up. So thank you. Come to our networking event in about 30 minutes or so.
Bye, everybody.